here because you like to be a pushover and please everybody but your creator. Welcome to this week's episode of Fits and Faith, where every week I put on a new outfit while I give you some faith to hold on to for the week. This week's episode is on people pleasing. I've noticed an increase in people pleasing, especially for my generation. As the world changes and people become more aware of normalized wrongs and traumas in our community, I feel that we find ourselves trying to please others way too much. You're constantly trying to get people to like you when deep down, you don't even like yourself. You're apologizing constantly, but you don't even know what you're sorry for. There's a mass misconception over the world right now that makes people think that we have to do everything they ask, and the second we don't, we're mean or we're cruel. And in fear of seeming mean or cruel, we do what people want. I found myself to be a victim of this, especially when I was first coming to Christ. I thought the best way to please God was to please others. Until I read Galatians 1:10, which reads, "Am I now trying to win the approval of men or of God? Or am I, Until I read Galatians 1:10, which reads, "Am I now trying to win the approval of men or of God? Or am I trying to please men? If I were still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ." In the context of this chapter, Paul is saying that we should never praise or idolize any man's approval except for the Lord's. Now, when I tell you this, I'm not leading you to cuss people out on the highway, and I'm definitely not leading you to walk with a heart of stone. Still show love and compassion to everybody that crosses your path, but don't bend over backwards trying to please people, because that's not in God's will. In reality, the truth, as in the gospel, hurts to hear. Nobody wants to hear about how their anger issues is ruining their relationships. But telling somebody that will help them in the long run, as long as you listen. Don't text somebody back during your sacred time with the Lord because you feel like it'll make them happy. Don't feel obligated to partake in spaces and environments that you know weren't made for you. Don't do things that make other people feel more comfortable if it does not align with the Lord. At the end of the day, finding comfortability in harmful situations is not the same as finding peace in a storm. Don't go somewhere where God is not present and then be confused as to why you can't feel His presence. Although God is not a feeling, but that's a different video. The only place God cannot follow you is in darkness. If you ever feel like He's not behind you, evaluate where you are. Here's the final fit. I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode of Fit and Faith. Stay strong, stay prayed up, and I'll see you next week. Bye.